It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.
Hello and welcome to the EdTech Mondays Nigeria show. I'm your host, Chinyelu Akpa, and it's good to be back here again. This week, we'll be having the concluding episode on artificial intelligence in education. We've had fascinating conversations, interesting takes about this month's topic. We've explored the role artificial intelligence plays in improving learning outcomes, the impact of artificial intelligence on addressing the current educational challenges in Nigeria, and what the future of AI holds. We've also received amazing contributions and comments from listeners like you, and we will be taking some of them today. Before we dive into the recap of all the conversation we've had, I'd like to share a thought-provoking comment from a community member, Kausarat Fawehimi. She said, "Nigeria is not ready for AI. We need to bring back the days of Mr. Parker and Mr. Richards from when I was growing up." Have you read a paragraph of anything written by our so-called graduates? It's horrendous. Running sentences, grammar errors, zero punctuation. So you won't know if it's a question or if the sentence is still running. How about we start with qualified teachers first? Get the education system back to its competitive stage like it was in the 80s and 90s. Then Nigeria can be, in quotes, exploring AI. The kids and a lot of adults don't even like to read anymore. Thank you, Kausarat, for your insightful comments. And from here, we can see that Kausarat is, really skittish about the introduction or the involvement of artificial intelligence in education in Nigeria. Where do you stand? What do you think? Do we have anything to be afraid of? Do you think that the educational system in Nigeria is ready to take on artificial intelligence? Will we be making a very big mistake of making our educators and our students heavily reliant on third parties for information or for guidance in crafting basic things as sentences? Would love to hear from you. Send us a message on 0703 165 0809. So what does the future hold for AI? We kicked off discussing on the emerging trends in education with the co-founder of Schooler, Abdul Baturi, where he spoke about the innovative solution called Corey AI and the importance of artificial intelligence in education. He gave the term, he said, he used a very interesting phrase. He said, artificial intelligence is like having an Einstein in your backyard, meaning you have someone you can go to at all time as a teacher to support you in designing your lesson notes. And we all know how much work teachers put into thinking and eventually writing these lesson notes. And with artificial intelligence, he highlighted how that work has been broken down just using basic prompts. You're getting contributions from teachers and even what the AI has been trained of, giving you data just at the snap of your fingertips.
Now, the problem we're solving as a company is that of obsolete curriculum and then a shortage of quality teachers. And you agree with me that an AI is just like, an Einstein in everyone's garage. You have access to ChatGPT. Then the teachers too can have access to something that helps them. Like I said, we as a company think that an AI should be like your work colleague, that colleague that is hardworking, that can help you do the chores. So in 2020, it was that the AI will read from uploaded notes and create you questions. That was the basic AI we were using. But today that there is generative AI and we have a personal LLM that we've been working with.
What is an LLM?
That's a large language model.
Okay.
This is a short podcast. But we have an LLM that we've been training to actually understand multiple curriculums.
Okay.
The Nigerian curriculum, the British curriculum, and the top 5 curriculums, you have a choice to choose from when you want to create a query. So we've been training it to do just that. So a teacher assistant will help teachers that need to create at least 18 lessons, per week.
Okay.
No, it will take them
So it just
18
takes
times.
away all that time
Fantastic.
to create the content. So they have the content created already and they focus on
Lesson
teaching.
delivery. Fantastic. And apart from that, apart from the time saving, it improves the teacher's content. Remember, again, we're solving the problem of quality teachers. Not every teacher is as good as the top teachers. But with AI, you have a plain level field. So it's a big change. And I think when you use the, say, lesson planner, it tells you step by step. It makes it fun or engaging. We have two modes. So you can't just switch your brain, to say, I want it to be fun today, I want it to be, but then the curry tool, is that assistant? That person, no, wear this nice dress. No, wear this gorgeous dress. If you have, a fashion assistant, I'm sure it helps you. But now we're doing it for teachers.
Next, we were joined by Frida Anyanwu, the country director for the Global AI Council, who provided valuable insights on the topic and the role Global AI Council plays in ensuring that artificial intelligence technologies in education are implemented ethically and responsibly. She answered questions we and you, our listeners, had around how safe artificial intelligence is for young people and for even the adults. Do we have a case, or should we be afraid that so much data is going to be given to these models and we might be at a risk in future? She also mentioned how the Global AI Council hopes to collaborate with the Nigerian government through the NAIS, the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, to co-create guidelines and frameworks to ensure that AI is ethically used within Nigeria, especially for education.
For the Global AI Council in Nigeria now, what we're really focused on doing is education. Education, not in the sense that we only have to educate young people about what artificial intelligence is about, or educating people how to use AI. We want to educate people who are building these solutions on how they can create systems and measures in place to protect the people who are going to be using their solutions. For example, the actual ethics of AI. We also want to work with people who are creating certain policies in terms of driving AI, enhancing AI solutions. And those are areas that we're looking out for. How can people be aware that these policies are in place, and how can you create measures not to go beyond where you are meant to go, right? So people also understanding that while we have lots of good tools, we also have people who are creating tools just for bad purposes. And then you have to enlighten them about how to leverage these tools, and not everything is the right tool.
We wrapped up the month's conversation with Mr. Omotayo Olorunfemi, who shared his expertise on the subjects. And he spoke on how Data Science Nigeria hopes to raise 1 million AI talents in Nigeria and prepare them for the future of work. He mentioned various programs that teachers can plug into to learn various skills, how to use prompts, and how to support learning in their classroom, leveraging artificial intelligence.
One of the very first thing AI will do, or is already doing in the education space, is what we call personalization of learning. Now, personalization of learning is where learners can have access to AI-enabled systems, AI-enabled platforms, AI-enabled solutions that they can leverage to generate learning content in the form of text, in the form of videos, in the form of audios, even in the form of flashcards. Now, this learning contents enable them to be able to, and then the process enable them to be able to select their preferred learning approaches, such that they are learning with the kind of content that they will be more interested in learning with. For example, at DSN, we have a product called ULearn, where we're targeting an exact solution just like the one I just explained now. So That is the very first thing that AI is already enabling in the education space, personalization of learning.
Thank you so much to you, our amazing guests, for gracing the show with your presence and sharing your wealth of knowledge. We also received more comments from our listeners. Dr. Ada Peter mentioned, good and descriptive, A, B, and C's of AI on air this morning. Solomon Adekuroye said, as long as we are aware of and implement the core values of responsible AI, I'd say we are good to go. So Solomon believes that there is nothing to be afraid of, which goes back to us sitting down to analyze what our AI strategy for Nigeria is, and seeing what other organizations like a Global AI Council, Data Science Nigeria, Co-Creation Hub, the MasterCard Foundation, and a lot of other organizations are doing around artificial intelligence and putting this out there for everyone to know. Be you a teacher, be you a student, a parent, a guardian, provided you have a stake in education in the country, you need to know what's happening with technology, need to know what's happening with AI, and need to know how you can support learning, leveraging on this new technology. Now, to you, our listeners, the conversation does not end here. Would love to hear from you. Are you like our community member Kausarat Faweimi, who believes Nigeria is not ready for AI? Or are you like the other community member Solomon Adekuroye, who believes, way to go, we are ready for AI? What are your fears? What are your thoughts? What challenges do you think we might have? How ready is Nigeria for artificial intelligence in education? Would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts and your feedback via SMS or WhatsApp to 0706 165 0809. And remember the assignment I gave at the beginning of this episode. If you were to design a technological solution for education that uses AI, what would your product do? Remember, we've talked about so many products that leverage artificial intelligence that are available for teachers and learners. I could remind you, there's Corey AI, which is an AI that just makes lesson notes formulation simple and faster for teachers. So if you are a designer, what would you build? Would love to hear from you. And are you curious to know where all the conversation happens? Do well to follow us on our WhatsApp and our Telegram channels at EdTech Mondays Nigeria, and you will see all our community members sharing their experiences, leveraging technology solutions to improve learning outcomes in Nigeria. You can also listen to us on Spotify at EdTech Mondays Nigeria to catch up on previous episodes of the show this month and previous months. Thank you for being an amazing listener on the EdTech Mondays Nigeria show this month. Your comments and your feedback have been valuable to us. We look forward to hosting you as we'll be delving into another interesting topic come next month. Till I come your way next week, I remain your host, Chinyelu Akpa, on the EdTech Mondays Nigeria show. It's bye for now.
EdTech Monday is proudly brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.